Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt again. I appreciate you guys following along with me with this journey in 75 Hard. Today is just basically keeping track of what's going on during the week, things I've been doing really good at, synopsis of things I've not been doing really good at, and just kind of taking you through my journey of week 1. So today is day 7. I am finishing up day 7 right now. I still just have to read my last 10 pages to go ahead and complete the first week. And I will tell you, I am so happy that I'm starting this journey, and I'm really excited that I get to share this with you. Ultimately, the biggest thing, like I said before, is that I want to go ahead and share this with social media and everybody who's on here to go ahead and provide some inspiration and also some motivation to others who might be, stuck in a rut, or maybe they just feel like they're plateauing through life right now, to kind of re-energize them, to get them going and get them in a new direction so that way they can succeed and succeed at high levels. Because this is the biggest thing about what it teaches you, okay? So I will tell you, over my life, at everything I've done, I've wanted to do it at extremely high levels. Whether it was school, whether it was sports, other things like career-wise. I've wanted to do it at a really high level. I would say I'm definitely somebody who's goal-oriented. So this is something that helps me out, and I will say there's just a lot of benefits to it. So throughout the week, I would say this week has kind of been pretty easy, just easing into a lot of it. So what I've been doing this is I am doing this with a family member who is a day ahead of me. So what we do to kind of make this easy is first thing in the morning, we go ahead and knock out our first 45-minute walk or workout. So we just go ahead and lift. So that will probably carry out for maybe an hour, hour and a half tops, depending on what we're doing that day. We get some work done because we do work together. So we get some work things done. And then after that, we go ahead and we hit our walk. So that's what we do outside for our workout, because you got to remember, 75 Hard, you do have to do a 45-minute workout outside. So what we chose to do is we just go and take a nice walk outside for 45 minutes. It does help us kind of clear our head and gain some solitude. And also it's just nice being outside when you're cooped up all day working and things like that. Because our day-to-day lives, it's a very I would say, energetic workday. Sitting at a desk most of the time, sitting in front of a computer screen, and I'm working, calling people, and trying to prospect to gain more business. So for me, that 45-minute walk, I will say, is pretty phenomenal for myself, because what I really enjoy is just getting outside, getting a breath of fresh air, and just clearing my mind of anything going on. Now, when I'm walking, I'll listen to like a podcast. I'll listen to music. It just depends. Or we just talk, on and off for the 45 minutes, depending on what's going on during the day, just to kind of bounce ideas off each other. And I'll tell you, it's great so far. The book I'm reading right now is Atomic Habits. Now, I did start reading this before I started 75 Hard again. So for me, I'm kind of a little bit past where I normally should be in the book, but that's okay. Some really good things about this book is it's just about creating good habits and setting cues and cravings and all this structure around, how they should be, so you can be really, really successful. Habits you need versus habits you want, how to set all those things up and how you can do it daily. So just to kind of give you an example, one of the things he talks about is setting up your habits in a way of like, hey, you already have one current habit. Before you get to the habit you want, you got to do the habit you need, right? So if my current habit is when I wake up, hey, I got to go ahead and pray, right? And then after that, since it's my current habit, I got to do the thing I really need. So what I really need to do is I really need to bang out that reading, that 10-minute read, so you guys can already see that I'm a little bit off my morning routine, but it's okay. We'll just go ahead and fix this tomorrow morning. So after I pray, I need to do my 10 pages of reading, and then I can go ahead and eat my breakfast, because that's the habit I really like, is eating my breakfast. Because before I do any type of activity, whether it's lifting, running, walking, any type of exercise, I'm not somebody who wants to fast. If intermittent fasting works for you, or doing fasted workouts works for you, hey, so be it. I'm open and open-minded to all different types of workouts and structures of your meals. For what works best for me is I like to have some food in my stomach, because it gives me better performance when I am doing those certain activities, especially lifting. I will tell you, at the end of the day, for me, period, if I don't have food in my stomach, I feel like my muscle endurance is down. I don't get the same lifts. I'm not moving the weight I normally can. And I just don't feel like I got the same intensity of a workout that I would if I had some food in my stomach. So normally, and a lot of people will probably think this is really gross, what I do is I buy egg whites. And I eat egg whites in the morning. Now, I don't like eggs at all and don't care if it's cooked, raw, whatever. But I found the easiest thing for me just to kind of get things moving. I like to make sure everything in the morning is pretty seamless because I don't like feeling rushed in the morning because it causes a lot of anxiety throughout my day. So what I do is just to make it even easier. So before I was cooking my egg whites the night before and eating it the next morning, which was fine. But I found that, hey, I'll just go ahead and drink them raw straight out of the carton because it's quick. Takes me 2 seconds. Honestly, tastes like nothing. So highly suggest you try it or don't. It doesn't matter to me. This is just what works for me. The whole goal of this is like just to give you what I'm doing, and maybe you try it and it works for you, and maybe you try it and it doesn't work for you. Ultimately, it's going to depend on what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Let's talk about some things I did really, really good at. I would say just being pretty consistent throughout the time of the week. I will tell you, I did have a family trip with my family to Charleston, South Carolina. My nephew had a game day invite visit, so I got to go ahead and check that out with him. We visited Charleston Southern University. It was an awesome experience, great campus. Shout out to that school for letting him come down and inviting some other family members to join him with that. It was a great experience. It made me think back on all the times I've had taking visits when I was getting recruited for football and everything like that. So it was a great thing. But I will tell you, before all that, what made it really easy for me was just doing those normal routines. So I was really good about that before we left on Friday. So Monday through Thursday, it was pretty simple. I did everything. It was seamless, and I felt like I was on a routine. Now Friday, we left Saturday. So Monday through Friday, we were good. So when we left Saturday, it was kind of different. I didn't have, a lot of time to set up like meals, anything like that. So what I had to do is just kind of think on the fly. And what I ended up doing is ordering from Uber Eats, and I just tracked everything through MyFitnessPal. I love MyFitnessPal because it helps me track all my calories and things like that. I do know they have a premium, so a lot of the things that you could do before free, you really can't do now. So scanning barcodes isn't really a thing for me. Just don't really want to pay for it. I'd rather just search it. And most of the stuff I eat is pretty much the same day in and day out. So all I did is I ordered food from Chick-fil-A, and I just got their grilled chicken breast sandwich with nothing on it. Literally just a plain chicken breast. And I got some small sauces on the side just so that I can have some taste to it to make it easier. And that's what I ate for day one. I still drank my egg whites. I just brought some carton egg whites in my Yeti cooler to make it easy for me in the morning. So I had something on my stomach before we went to the game because it was an all-day affair with game day visits. If you've ever been on one, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. If not, if you got a family member who's on a football team in high school and is going to take a visit, highly suggest you go. It's a great experience. It's really cool. And it just gives you some time to travel somewhere new. So those are things I did really well at, even with going out on a family visit like that. I will tell you things that I'm noticing that are getting a little harder as we get along in this, because I'm only 1 week through. Not even, because I still got to read tonight, right? The thing that is getting a little bit harder for me is now I'm starting to get to that point where I'm getting these cravings. I love food. I would definitely tell people I'm a fat kid at heart. Little funny story is I can put down some food, and a good friend of mine invited me to go to Columbia, South Carolina and visit his alma mater for, I can't remember what we were really doing. It was probably work-related, school-related, something like that. And we went to like a small chicken restaurant, and I ordered a lot of food. Like a few sandwiches, a lot of fries, because I hadn't eaten all day. And this kid, like, through and through bet that I would not finish the food, and I literally downed in probably less than a 5-minute period. Not bragging about that. Probably not the highlight of this video, but that's just a little bit about me, is I absolutely love food. Good, bad, indifferent, don't care. Love food, definitely a fat kid at heart, even though I don't show it. I'm not in the best shape, but this kind of goes to show like why I'm not in the best shape is like I kind of went on the wayside because these cravings and all that stuff, I really let go when I entered the car business. So before the car business, maybe later on down the road, I can go show you guys what I looked like when I was in college, because I was very disciplined in college. When I was in college, I went to school, I worked out, I worked, I had small part-time odd jobs here and there, had a couple internships, but I was always in the gym twice a day, getting it in, and was in phenomenal shape, way better than I am right now. Probably always sitting around anywhere between 8 to 10% body fat. I would probably say right now I'm anywhere between 15 to 18% body fat, trying to get back down to that level because that's where I feel most comfortable. When I got into the car business, a lot of that changed. Now, what happened was I got so caught up with my career and being so addicted to the success that I was having that I let a lot of things go to the wayside. So a lot of things like my eating habits went to the wayside, but it wasn't meal prepping as much because I didn't feel like it was worth the time and it was a priority to me. So those normal routines I kind of let go to the wayside, and I can leave that for another side of the story later. But that's kind of like where I'm at now and why doing 75 hard is so important to me today, because I need to get back to that person I was in college. So that way for my entrepreneurial stuff that I'm doing right now with fitness influencing, social media, and also my career in what I do in my workspace is growing. So I need to do that so that on all levels I'm disciplined, I am mentally strong, and my ability to adapt is a huge priority to me. I don't know why I lost train of thought. But, these things are super important. Motivation is great, but discipline is even better. If you go back and if you follow me on Instagram, go look at that one where it says discipline is greater than motivation. It really is, because, motivation is great, but it only lasts so long, because it's kind of like that law of diminishing returns. Like, think about eating a hamburger or some type of food. That first bite is great, but every bite after that just isn't as great as that first one was, right? It's the law of diminishing returns. That's kind of like how I feel about motivation. It's great for so long, but discipline has to kick in when motivation runs out, right? It's kind of like, hey, when the tough gets going, or, whatever it said, when times get tough, the tough get going, is how I feel every time I feel about like motivation and discipline. Like, I would rather be the most disciplined person in the world and not have so much motivation, but it kind of go hand in hand. The good thing about me is I'm self-motivated. I don't rely on anybody to do anything in my life. I just go ahead and do it. Once I have my eyes set on something, I just figure out how to get it. And I've done that in everything in my life, is like whether it was football, whether it was school, places I wanted to go, jobs I wanted. When I got in the car business and in my fitness journey, like my eyes are set on this. I have a clear-cut goal of what I want to accomplish with this, and that's helping other people. But right now, what I want to do is grow my, I would say, my influence through helping people right now and getting them motivated to do things differently. Because 75 hard is not easy. There are definitely things that you can lose wayside of. Like, my brother-in-law is my biggest mentor in life, and I will tell you, this guy is always like hitting me with stuff that like sometimes I get frustrated with, and I'm like, dude, please shut up. Like, I get it. But he does that because he understands how important it is to me, and he only wants me to succeed at high levels. And that's something I cherish deeply in my life, because he expects the most out of me at all times, and at any point I'm not giving my 100%, like, I'm going to hear about from him. But that's, like, I've always told people, like, you'll love this guy because he's the accountability partner that you need, but nobody wants, right? Because he's always on you. And that's very admirable, because I've always wanted to be that person in my life. And slowly I'm getting there, because I'm learning so much from him, the people he's around. Like, I've been introduced to a lot of people. So my level of influence right now, and my network and circle of people I'm around, is great. Like, I feel like I'm around people who are doing way better than I am in everyday life. And it just helps me to want to succeed. I just feel like the common saying, you're the sum of your 5 best friends, is the best thing in the world. Because if your 5 best friends are millionaires, you're going to be the 6th one. There's just no way, right? You listen to all these people like Alex Hormozi, Gary Vee, Ed Milet, Andy Frisella. All these guys talk about, like, who are you hanging around? Because it's so important. I've done it all. I've hung out with people who influence me in a bad way and put me in some rough spots. And then I've been in the position I am now, where I'm around a position of people, or a circle of people, who are in, way better positions than I am. And I've done things in my life that I never thought I would be able to do. Me getting into car business, I thought, and a lot of people thought initially, that, hey, you're an idiot. You have no idea what you're doing. You're throwing your life away. Why would you go get a 4-year college degree if you're just going to go do that? Wasted your time. You're not going to be successful. You're not going to make any money. I'm not going to brag about how much money I made, But I will flat out tell you, there is not one damn person right now in this world who can look at me that knows me when I got in the car business and can absolutely tell me that I didn't succeed at all levels. I mean, I created wonders in my life, did things I couldn't even imagine. Like it was unfathomable. And all those people who were, you know, super disrespectful in the beginning, super critical and not understanding of why I was doing it. They're all the same people who were like, man, you're crushing it, keep getting it, like, do you, king, like all this shit. And for me, I was just like, you're the same person way back when I started this journey who had no support, didn't really care, and didn't believe in that vision. But that's okay, because it just shows you your real circle of people you need to be around. Because I left to do this for the betterment of myself. I probably would not be doing this right now with you guys on this platform, because I wouldn't have the confidence to do this. I wouldn't have the confidence to talk to people the way I can, the salesmanship, anything like that. Like, I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just trying to get people motivated, like I said. But like, I have sales skills, and I have elite closing skills, and I'm very good at what I do, and I'm very appreciative of that, and I'm confident in what I'm doing. I'm not arrogant, but I know what I bring to the table and what value that I bring when I come into a workspace, and what I'm actually capable of. Now, I have days where I fall off and things like that, and that's why I'm doing 75 Hards, to make sure at all times I'm bringing my 100% to the table, because right now my life depends on it. You know, my life is super dependent on everything I do right now, because I'm not in the car business. I took a huge leap of faith to do this, and also get into more real estate and things like that, because it was something I was more passionate about. I did everything I wanted to do in the car business, and I'm very appreciative of it. And I believe everybody should, in their first 2 years of anything, should get in the car business or something like that, where it's such a high transaction business, high volume transaction business, where you actually get to negotiate it, because it's not easy. It's very stressful. You work 70 to 100 hours a week. When I got in as a finance manager, before I was working, 6-7 days a week. I didn't take a lot of days off, but maybe it was working on average 60, 70 hours a week. When I got in as finance manager, I was working easily 80 to 100 hours a week. Tops. I mean, I was always, my schedule was great, but it also sucked at the same time, because I opened, and then I'd never open. I always closed. Like, I had one day I opened, which was Monday. Every other day I got to come in late. Great. I get to sleep in, do all this. But I closed. And it's not like, the car business is not like other jobs. You never know when you're going to leave as a manager. If you're a salesperson, you don't have a customer, you can go home. As a manager, you have no clue when you're going home. You have no idea. It's so unpredictable. You can have a customer walk in 5 minutes till close, and you have to be there until they're done. That's just a process. It is what it is. But what that taught me is just the mental toughness to go ahead and grind. And, a lot of mentors in my life would be like, if you can work that hard for somebody else and that long for somebody else, imagine what you can do for yourself. Imagine the things you'll accomplish by working that hard for yourself. Now, when I jumped out of the car business and I tried to do this, I tried to get into work, and I was doing a lot of things by trial and error, but I wasn't doing things at the level that I was there. I don't know why. I just don't think mentally I was there in the right. I really couldn't tell you. I think mentally it was something. I think something in my heart was. It was probably just a lot of nerves and things like that, and just being a little scared, which is normal. But right now I'm getting in a little bit of groove. I have some guidance and things like that, to where I'm very confident that this will pick up in the right time. So there's a lot of things about 75 Hard that is just going to propel me to do a lot better. Now, I like, the thing I will tell you is you will definitely have a fear of missing out on a lot of things, right? FOMO is definitely something that is tough for me, because, I have friends all over the country. I've lived all over the country. I was born and raised in Florida. I lived in Hawaii for 6 years. I lived in Texas for a long time, which I would consider home to me. I've lived in Ohio, where I started my collegiate football. I went back to Florida, played football in Texas again in college, and also Illinois for a little bit. I went to all these different places, and I met so many different people, and all my friends are always hitting me up, hey, you should come take a visit, take a break, do what you're doing. But right now, it's like, I'm getting in a rhythm, and I'm getting like my process down. So what I need to do is be mentally strong to kind of cut out the FOMO, so that way I can clearly focus on the task at hand. right? So like, I want to be really, really successful at what I do. I want to be successful at social media. I don't want to compete against anybody. I want to learn from those who are above me and give back to those who are trailing me, right? Paying it forward is such a huge thing in life. And if you can learn how to really, do that, you just don't know what you'll really accomplish in life, right? Like, if you go into anything with a mindset of making money, and you'll hear this all over the place, you're just going to quit eventually because you're so stressed that you're not making the money. But if you can truly do something that you really just want to help people and going into it with a mindset of going to help people, the sky's the limit. Like, you have no idea what you're going to be able to accomplish, because that mindset will get you a lot further. Bringing value to other people is so much more appreciated than how much money you earn. Right? Like, results and all that's great. But what you bring value to, like, the most appreciated person in a relationship is the one who brings the most value. One who spends the most time bringing the most value to that other person or that group of people. That's the one who is more appreciated, and that's the one who is more remembered because of what they're doing. They're constantly active. Like, Sometimes I ask a lot of these questions because I want to know. Like, I'll reach up to these top influencers and I want to know, like, hey, what are you doing? But I have to remember, I really got to step back and I got to be like, how can I bring value to this person, right? Like, I just got told a story by my brother-in-law, and it was this guy looked up somebody he really looked up to for a long time, and he researched and found out about, hey, what does this guy like? What can I do to help this guy? And what he did is he just found out one simple thing, which was, who's his favorite sports team? He found that out, bought this guy a jersey, sent him a postcard of like, hey, how can I help bring value to your team, or whatever he was doing. It was something like that. And the guy responded immediately because what he did was so much different. How many times have you remembered people coming to you for things and they're just like, hey, what can I do to get better at this? How can I do this better? Instead of being like, hey, what can I do to help you? A long time ago, I remember listening to another mentor of mine on a phone call, and he asked at the very end of the phone call, how can I help you with something today? It's very different because, like, people ask you a yes and no question, like, hey, is there anything I can help you with? And you can say yes or you can say no. But if you ask, hey, how can I help you with something today? That's very different. It's an open-ended question. There's so many different things that you can answer that to, It leaves an endless door of possibilities of what that person can respond to. If you ask a yes and no question, you're only going to get two answers. But if you leave it open-ended, you never know. It could be something you totally didn't know. Like, if you ask somebody, how can I help you with something today? And somebody answers back, hey, can you take 5 minutes to talk to me? I really need to vent. I feel like I got a lot of weight on my chest and weight on my shoulders, and I need somebody to talk to. You just never know. And that is the catalyst and the real difference in life of what separates those who are truly doing this to help other people and those who are really just doing it for their own selfish gain. And it's okay to want to gain for yourself. It's okay to want to be successful. But you have to have a generous mindset of going into what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just going to I feel like you're going to look silly. Is the biggest thing to me. You'll just look silly, you'll look foolish, and you'll never get what you truly want. But if you're going out of your way to go to help somebody else and you bring value to them, their natural reaction is to give back to you because, you're helping them with something. It's just like a job. You're providing your employer a day-to-day operation that they can't do because they have bigger operations, right? You provide your time to do that for them, so you're providing value, and what they do is they provide you a paycheck. So you're given an exchange of value. That's literally it, right? When I was in car sales, when I was a salesman, I'm taking the time to walk a customer around a car to give a great demonstration. So I'm providing value through information and knowledge that I had about these vehicles. And in exchange, this customer is paying the dealership and myself money for buying that car. So, like, it's just all about giving back, and there's different ways of doing this, and there's a lot of different not metaphors, but there's a lot of different analogies you can really have with this and what you really can accomplish. So, I feel like I'm really getting off on a rant, but I feel like this is really good for a lot of people because this is what I think about. This is me. This is not anything edited. Somebody, and the biggest thing is like when I say, hey, please, in the comments, tell me what I can do better. If you know me personally, you have my cell phone, please text me what I can do better. If it's eye placement on the camera, if it's my voice inflection, tell me. If I need to slow down when I speak, tell me. If if I need to do something a little different, tell me. Hey, if there's something you want to see, tell me. If you have questions, ask me. I'm here to help. I'm here to provide a service to you guys, so that way I can help. Like I said, just want to help. Make it easy. Like, this is why I'm doing this, help people. And it was really eye-opening to me today because, I haven't had a strong passion like this since football. But when I was on my walk yesterday, I was talking to my brother-in-law who's doing this with me, and he was like, your number one passion is fitness and so like influence and things like that. And yeah, my number one passion is the fitness industry and things like that, because what I can do to provide help to other people, because I've been really lean. I've done a dirty bulk. I'm doing a dirty bulk right now, not intentionally. It is what it is. But I'm getting away from all that because I've done things and I've tried things and I've experimented. I'm not an expert, will not claim to be, but I can talk about this stuff for days. I can go on and on and on and on about this stuff because I'm truly passionate about it. Like, this is this kind of stuff I live for. Like, and immediately when he told me that, it was eye-opening. Like, I had just kind of like an epiphany moment of like realization, like, holy shit, you're right. Because I've had so many other things that like I thought I was passionate about. Like in the car business, I was good and I was passionate about it, but I was more passionate about the money I was making, and that's okay because I made a pretty good, decent living for my age. I'm only 26. I'll be 27 on the 7th of November. And I made a lot of money during my my career, the last 3 years in the car business, and I'm proud of that. But I was money hungry. I wasn't like generous hungry, like trying to go out of my way to help people. I was just there for personal gain, and I was angry all the time. I was stressed out. I felt like I wasn't me, and I lost a lot of me in that, and it's kind of sad. I lost relationships with that. People said I was different. Even family members I'm close to, family members that brought me here to Georgia, it was just very toxic. And to kind of be from the outside looking in now of like, what it is as a whole, I'm glad that I did it. It taught me a lot, and I was very successful at it. But I'm so glad I left it because of what I'm actually able to do with my life right now. And to be able to share this with you guys and just to kind of open up myself and be vulnerable. I think it's tough for a lot of people to be vulnerable, but you got to remember, like, when you do this, anybody can just pop up on your feed and see this. So me being this vulnerable, like me before the car business, like I said, I wouldn't do this. So it's eye-opening to me, like the differences now that I see within myself and how much I've grown. And I know doing 75 hard is only going to help me grow and get better. And I know this is going to be the time I beat it. And we're going to go ahead and get this whole live hard thing going and, do that. Because there's so many different like people think it's just 75 days and you're done. You never do it again. But that's not the way Andy Frisella set this up, because 75 hard is just the groundwork of what the program actually is, because there's 4 stages of it, right? You got 75 hard, which is your first 75 days of doing your 2 workouts, gallon of water, reading, and eating a clean diet, no cheat meals, no alcohol, anything like that, right? And then you have phase 1. Phase 1 adds, I think, cold shower, meditation, 1 random act of kindness, I think, or maybe that's stage 3. One of the two has that. I know there's a random act of kindness, but it goes from 75 hard, and then phase 1 is right after 75 hard. You can choose to do it, whenever you want. Most people try to do it right after 75 hard because you already have that big momentum behind you. Sorry, I was actually about to burp. I'm trying to hold it in so I don't let that over the camera. But 75 hard, and then phase 1, it's only 30 days. And then you have to take a 30-day break before phase 2. Phase 2 is just another 30 days of 75 hard. You know, those first tasks you did for that first 75 days. The reason you do 30-day gap is because it's a test of your will and your mental strength to see how far are you going to go off the wayside. You know, are you going to like taper off, or are you just going to go full boat, like eating cheesecakes, cookies, milkshakes, not working out, you know, not reading, doing all this stuff? And if you do it that way, after 30 days, you go into phase 2, you're going to be in for a rude awakening, because it's another 30 days of 75 hard. So it's a real test to see, like, hey, how mentally strong are you after doing this for 105 days? Because 75 days is tough, but 105 days, you've created almost a lifestyle, right? But to get off it for 30 days, right? And you could still do it, but it doesn't count until the next 30 days, right? So once you get in that next 30 days, you do 75 hard for 30 days, and then phase 3 is the end, right? And you have to wait until the last 30 days, until your fiscal year of hitting when you started 75 hard, right? So if you started January 1, you have to start phase 3 December 2nd of the year of that same year. So that way, when you hit that day 30 and you complete it, you completed a full Live Hard program, right? But the problem is if you fail phase 3, you start the entire year back over. You failed the entire year. So it's super critical at how Andy Frisella set this up, and what he truly wanted it to be. And a lot of people still think of this as a fitness challenge. And in some ways it is. In some ways, you know, you do get the physical gains out of it. You look better, you feel better. But it's really all here, man. It's really so mental that you seem to just forget it because social media, right? I mean, I want to be in the fitness industry, so a lot of people will see this as, like, over time you'll see me lean out because I'm doing a hard cut right now. I'm doing carb cycling. You know, 4 days out of the week I'm doing low carb, 1 day no carb, 2 days of high carbs. You know, I got that all set up based on how my workout split is, and you know, I'm gonna lean out pretty nicely and hopefully get back to that, you know, 10 to 11% body fat percentage like I want to be. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you listening to this rant. I totally forgot that if you get anything out of this, please share it. If you like the content and you want more of this stuff, go ahead and subscribe to this page. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a weekly vlog. I'm super late on this one. I do apologize about it. I just had a lot going on with the trip, getting back, getting today started. You know, a lot of things happen, but that's just life. But you got to do the things you say you're going to do. And I really honed in on that in that first video, because all day, all I thought about was, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do this tomorrow. But I can't, because I promised you guys on my Instagram, hey, check out my vlog, or look out for my vlog on Monday. You know, today's Monday. I got to do it. So I got to sit here. I got to edit this. You know, I got a promise I made to myself. I made a promise to my followers and everybody on social media that I would do it today. It's going to be late. I don't know how the benefits are going to work, but you know, what I'm going to do to adjust from that is just do this on Sunday. So everything is just an adjustment. Like, this is the great thing about life, is if you see things that you aren't being super successful at, make a quick adjustment, see if it works, you know, test it out. You know, I wanted, like I said, to do this every 7 days, but I'm going to have to pivot. You know, I'm going to have to start this again on Sunday, so I'm going to be a little bit short, but we'll do this every Sunday after that, so you kind of get, I can kind of be comfortable in what I'm doing. I'm not feeling like my time is stretched so thin like I do right now. And we'll just, hopefully it gets better. But like I said, guys, thank you so much for going ahead and listening to my vlog, following along with me in this journey. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Please hit the subscribe button, give me a like, comment things you want to see, comment anything I can get better at, any tips you have for me. I appreciate you guys so much. If there's anything I can do, feel free to reach out to me in my social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram. I do have Facebook, not really on that much, but TikTok and Instagram are the ones you're going to find me on most. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, please reach out. I want to do my best to answer everybody that I can. I know right now if anybody answers, I'm going to be able to answer because I don't have any following. But there will come a point to where I won't be able to do it as much, and I'll do my best to not lose that mindset of being able to help, because I'll try to remember what it was like to be in these shoes I'm in right now. That's the biggest thing, is like, I know this is going to blow up. It's just going to take a little bit of time. I don't have an exact time frame. I just have goals that I want to hit. But I know over time I'm going to get better at this. It's going to become a lot easier, and we're going to work together. And I'm going to listen to the things you guys say, listen to my outside influencers from this and see what they say. And I'm just going to take all these little pointers and I'm just going to apply it to it. Like my best friend Shane Westbrook, who also coaches me in fitness and everything like that, he told me immediately, he's like, hey, number one tip, let the camera roll. Don't edit, do any of that stuff. Let it be raw. So I tried it out, and you know what? I absolutely love it. I love the tip. Shout out to Shane. Love you, bro. The guy is an animal in fitness, so if you have any questions about it, please hit him up. Be on the lookout soon. We are going to start collabing on an ebook for a fitness plan. So we're going to see what that looks like. Probably will be around a carb cycling cut weight plan, or workout plan and routine to go ahead and help some people out with that. So be on the lookout on our social media page. A little bit down the road, we will be posting an ebook for you guys. But hey, I appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful night. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.